Arizona State football has largely been an afterthought. They've been consistently the middle of the pack ever since they went to the Rose Bowl in the 1996 season. They had a few good seasons, but never led to anything meaningful. But in 2021, they had a lot of hype. They had redshirt freshman quarterback Jaden Daniels, along with running back Rashad White and wide receiver Ricky Pearsall, all who would go on to play in the NFL. However, there was a recruiting scandal going on with the program, due to the COVID rules about in-person recruiting that got violated by the Sun Devils. Their coach at the time, Herm Edwards, got fired after a Week 3 loss to Eastern Michigan the next season. Their season would be very disappointing, only going 3-9. They hired Arizona local Kenny Dillingham and saw him as the person to save the program. The diehard fans had hope, especially after Dillingham's opening press conference when he emphasized how special the program is and got emotional. He had a quietly great 2023 transfer portal class, but the team went 3-9 again. There was just a slimmer of hope for this team going into the 2024 season from the fans. However, everybody else saw this team as an afterthought, and they were ranked 16th out of 16 teams in the Big 12 preseason poll. However, this team would go on a historical run by going 10-2 in the regular season, winning the Big 12 championship, and earning a bid to the first ever 12-team college football playoff. Want to see how?
Coming into the season, ASU had potential, especially after landing Michigan State transfer quarterback Sam Leavitt, who after spring camp forced 5-star quarterback recruit Jaden Rashada to transfer because it was obvious that Leavitt would start over him. They would return running back Cam Scadaboo, who was their bright spot of the Arizona State offense in 2023, rushing for over 700 yards and 9 scores. There was hope that Kenny Dillingham could turn this program around from a 3-9 season and potentially make a bowl game. And if that were to happen, that would be considered a success from Sun Devil fans, as it was expected to take over 10 years to make this program relevant again. The offseason is now over, and it is time for Week 1 versus the Wyoming Cowboys. They had a decent season last year in the Mountain West, going 9-4. There was not much hype surrounding this game, but despite this, the ASU student section had the second highest attendance since 2010. So you would assume that the hype grew after this amazing game.
Jones, transfer from North Carolina. Quick pass and it's intercepted. The first throw as the starter taking it the other way for a touchdown. Viasatu. Cyrus Viasayu takes it back for 6. And on 4th down, Scadaboo's in for the ASU touchdown. And Sam Leavitt on the move, completes the pass. There's Mateo, the tight end, and into the end zone for an ASU touchdown. Pass, that may be a behind the back. That may be a loose ball, and ASU has it, and the Sun Devils are in for a touchdown. It's Justin Watley.
This was a very exciting win for the Sun Devils, but this would be the worst team that they faced this season, and they would play a much better opponent, Mississippi State. ASU would get their 6th shot at facing an SEC team, and they've never beaten a team from that conference. They would have a chance to make history and knock off their first SEC opponent ever in this game.
We'll hear from Quint in a minute. Great spin move. Oh man, he spun like a DJ. Leavitt going to escape from harm and do more than that. Leavitt lunging, leaping, touchdown, Sun Devils. Shaping off his spot, flushed out, sacked. The ball came loose, but he was tackled first. No, they're going to rule touchdown. Touchdown, Arizona State. Keeps it. Got some help from his friends and makes it into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona State.
The Devils showed out, especially with an electric game from Cam Scadaboo. All they need to do now is just hold on to this lead. Mississippi State, however, makes it a 3-possession game. This is no big deal. Okay, now a 2-possession game. We can still hold on, right? Now it's a 1-possession game. There's still a decent amount of time left, but if Arizona State's offense does not get it together on this drive, they might blow the lead. They drive downfield and take up some clock. And with 1 Mississippi State timeout left, they hand it off to Scadaboo. And
Scadaboo bursts through the defense on his way. Will slide down. A heady play by the vet, and feeling himself just enough right now.
After this huge 39-yard run from Scadaboo, making his total all-purpose yards at 262, which was second most in Arizona State history, Leavitt takes 3 kneels, and ASU escapes with the win, beating their first SEC team in history.
The Sun Devils would try to carry their momentum as they go to San Marcos, Texas to play the Texas State Bobcats. Texas State is one of the Group of 5 contenders and has a very good chance of making the college football playoff as an auto bid. However, a loss to Arizona State might take them out of the running. It was a short week as the game was played on Thursday night, and this would be the first away game for the Devils this season. Texas State would start with the ball, and the Sun Devils defense forced the Bobcats to punt. ASU would capitalize on this as they went downfield and Cam Scadaboo scored a 2-yard rushing touchdown. And on the other end, nickelback safety Shamari Simmons, one of the many 2023 transfers that Dillingham brought in, had a huge hit on a Texas State receiver. And Arizona State would force a 4th down and a chance to have good field position on offense, and the Bobcats convert on an open slant up the middle. But the defense had another chance to get this drive off the field, and on 3rd and long, the Bobcats convert again via an open dig route up the middle. And on 1st and goal, another receiver gets wide open and Texas State scores a touchdown. On offense, Arizona State could not get a drive going and they had to punt. The defense forces a 3rd and 14 in prime position to get off the field, and they allow a simple screen pass to go all the way for a 1st down. They would convert another 3rd down, and on 3rd and goal, another receiver gets open in the end zone. Touchdown Texas State. The Arizona State offense needs to show up and help the struggling defense, but Leavitt takes a big sack and they have to punt. And the struggling defense gets beat again as Texas State drives downfield and ASU gets beat on a 1-and-1, and Texas State scores a touchdown. It is currently 21-7, and the offense needs to score a touchdown if they're looking to stay in this game. And Leavitt throws it downfield, deep pass, and
downfield, he's going to take a shot. There's Tyson again. Tyson makes a move. Touchdown, Arizona State.
It is caught. He gets past the defender and dives into the end zone. This is Jordan Tyson, another one of the 2023 transfers who was injured his freshman year at Colorado and also in his first year at ASU. But he's healthy now and will be a huge contributor for this team. On the other end, Arizona State's defense finally gets off the field and forces Texas State to punt. There's just under 2 minutes left of this half, and if ASU can score, this would be a huge momentum switch going into halftime. They end up in 4th and 2, and the aggressive Kenny Dillingham and offensive coordinator Marcus Arroyo go for it, and Leavitt's pass is caught by Xavier Guillory, another 2023 transfer, and was probably the most productive receiver on this bad team last year. They would find themselves in a 3rd down hole, and they don't want to settle for a field goal. So when Leavitt throws a bad pass to Jordan Tyson, he goes all out and dives for the ball, catching it, making it a 1st and goal. And with 15 seconds left, Sam Leavitt scrambles into the end zone, breaking a tackle and tying the game.
After the break, a horrific breakdown of a defense happens.
Pump fake, double move, wide open, touchdown Texas State.
On the other end, ASU gets the ball and Leavitt has a huge scramble for 40 yards. And then they drive a little bit further until they're on the 2-yard line and give to Scadaboo as he punches it in. On the other end, the defense holds them to a critical 4th down. And on 4th down, a horrific breakdown of a defense happens as the defender allowed an open slant, missed a tackle, then gets hurdled, and then misses another tackle somehow before finally bringing the receiver down. But none of that mattered as the defense forces a punt in the next set of downs. ASU drives very far and settles for a field goal, taking a promising 31-28 lead. The Arizona State defense holds the Bobcats to another third down, and the defense has not gotten a pivotal stop all game and needs to get one here.
Quick snap. McLeod taking a shot, has a receiver, and it's intercepted.
The pass was picked off by Xavier Alford, another 2023 transfer, and he would later become the leader of this defense. However, the offense can't get much together as they have to punt, and Texas State has a chance to go downfield and score a game-winning touchdown. However, after a big loss of yards, the defense forces a fourth down, and the defense, who has been picked apart the entire game and has been beat countless times on third and fourth down, have an opportunity to get the biggest stop of the season so far.
See if they stay with the blitz or they jump out.
Fourth down, McLeod, pressured, throws, incomplete. Arizona State holds. Keith Abney II on Cole Wilson.
The pass was deflected by Keith Abney. Another 2023 transfer cornerback. Levitt goes into victory formation, and ASU escapes with a gritty win in Texas.